Well, good morning and welcome to the Couples Academy Show. Today we're talking about pandemic partner slash parenting check-in. It's time for a check-in. We'll be right back on the Couples Academy Show. And we're back. We're
Welcome.
back. We're
We are
back.
back.
I'm
We're
in
back
the
together.
saddle,
Back
right? I'm not
together.
alone this time. Yesterday I was saying how I was alone all by myself. I was crying in the corner before we got
He's
started.
never by himself. I'm
But-
always there in spirit.
But we're back. We're broadcasting live from the lobby of a Marriott hotel in Asheville.
So that's
North
why
Carolina.
that's why for the somewhat of a whisper. And
Yeah.
Hassani had to do the announcement because I am
You can
loud.
speak up. You can speak
Oh, I
up.
can be
We
louder?
told the people,
I don't even know how to not be extreme loud.
I don't
so
know
I
how
think I
she
better
does it.
keep it at this level.
But listen, guys, we wanted to join in and welcome you into a conversation today. We're talking
morning,
about
Natalie.
the pandemic check-in. As you know, when this thing first popped off in February, we thought it was going to be a couple weeks. Life would get back to normal. We know that during that time, people were going crazy. They were pulling their hair out. Relationships were in crisis.
Yeah.
Everybody's in the house. The kids are losing their mind. It just seemed to be chaos and
Round
disorder.
and round and round.
And then somehow this became a part of the new normal. And we're still adjusting to it.
Yeah.
How many months in February, March, April, May, June, July, August, October, September, October?
Yeah.
We're talking about 8 months in, and people are still going through it. So we
Yep.
want to hear from you to see how this has impacted your relationship, how it's impacted your parenting, how it has impacted your home.
Yeah, so go ahead and get your questions or comments in there. We want you to just chime in with us. I was talking to Hassani about this over the past couple of days, just how in the beginning, how we went and we filled up our pantries, we went shopping and bought all this stuff and we were ready and then we ate it all. We got bored because the kids were in the house. We started doing baking projects. I've made bread. Who makes bread? Like, we just go buy bread. So there's just been so many things that we have had to adjust to. One of the main things that we've had to adjust to in this household has been the education of our kids. Everybody is homeschooled on different schedules. If you have multiple children, you understand the struggle of it. And for many parents, it's just not working. I am obviously in a community of my own where I do talk to other parents who have children who are in school. And, you know, we have these conversations about the technology failing on the side of the school and kids being frustrated. Some of my closest friends who work with children, seeing the struggle of a child to actually have to sit at a computer all day long and acknowledging how it's just not normal to do that. I started doing some research and discovered that there's actually a difference between distance learning and homeschooling, where distance learning is literally taking the education and the system and the schedule that your kid was in when they were going to a brick and mortar school and putting that in a home environment in front of a laptop, same schedule, rigorous, same thing, versus the homeschool method, which is actually created by the parent as long as you follow the guidelines of that state. Completely different experience for the kids. And you have a lot of parents that are literally opting out. But before we continue on that, because I have so much to say about that, because I was literally fiery this morning after I opened up my inbox and I saw 130 emails from all of the various teachers of my 4 kids. And I thought, this ain't working, okay? But let's just say hello to a few people. Hey, Nisha, good to see you this morning, sis. Lakeisha, good morning. Natalia, good morning. DC, Thornton, hey, girl, good morning. How are you doing? Check in with me. Didi, good to see you. Jackie, good to see you. Everybody, Heather Jones says, the issue we see in Pennsylvania is a lot of people are on unemployment and there's a bunch of stimulus out there. So one partner might have to work because they're essential, but the other partner gets to be on the unemployment, and there is an animosity because of the other partner on unemployment is basically on a big vacation. Plus they keep extending it. So some people have been on vacation for 9 months having a great time while the other person is working.
Wow.
That's interesting that you say animosity, though. I think that that's interesting because honestly, I would be very happy for you or me, obviously for me, but I would be happy about one of us being on vacation because in my house, If you home, you ain't on vacation. Okay, there is so much work to do under the roof, but I can see that being an issue. And then I've heard other people, their stimulus has run out or their unemployment has run out and they're waiting for more funds, and so everybody's in limbo. You're still having to educate your children. There's just so much going on.
Yeah, I think if you're operating at, first of all, having children means everything.
Yeah.
So if I'm on 9 months, quote unquote, vacation, but now I'm taking on the responsibilities of the household, dealing with the
And that's how we
kids,
would roll.
maintaining the home, that's what it would
That's
be
what
for
we would
us.
do. Yeah.
But for those people who that may not be their situation,
Right.
and my feet's kicked up, I'm watching,
Yeah.
I'm staying up late watching movies, sleeping in
Mhm.
late, but you got to go to work every day. And hey, it is what it is. Why
Yeah.
you mad at me? That's
Right.
just the situation. Blame it on the pandemic.
Yeah, I mean, that definitely is a situational thing, and I could see that being the case if somebody got laid off. It's the same thing, right? You get laid off, you don't have a job. What are you doing every day? You want the person to be looking for a job every day, but sometimes they kick their feet up and they're doing nothing. So the person that is working has animosity towards the other person. That to me is a relationship issue that you haven't organized how you guys are going to split responsibilities based on your new current situation.
And I think, regarding, and so we want to hear what your experiences are as a parent dealing with your children, but also as a partner in your
Good morning,
relationship.
Keith. Good morning, Steph.
We know for sure that in the very beginning, people they couldn't take it. They were willing to move out. They were ready to file divorce. They were in crisis, and the phone was ringing off the hook because people did not know what to do. And I think after a couple of months, realizing that, you know what, we can't go anywhere, we can't do anything, we might as well figure out how to make this thing work. There was a pivot, and people were now interested in trying to fix and repair their relationship. When there is uncertainty in the world, it can create uncertainty in your relationship as well. And I think right now people are kind of in a pattern of, I don't know, a stuck pattern, if you will, trying to figure out what their next steps are. And we always say, listen, you can't rely on what's happening in the world to determine what you do in your own world. I mean, obviously there's always a cause and effect, but you have to strategize, you have to plan. I was just talking to somebody about how there's something called futurists. Futurists are individuals who are always looking 5, 10, 15 years into the future to see what the new technologies are, to see what the new trends are, to see what the new ways of living will be. And I just came across a video that kind of blew my mind about where we're going. And one thing it did, it gave me a level of confidence because I kind of knew what was coming ahead. And I think that if you kind of do some research and figure out what are the new trends, what are the new ways of living, what are the new ways of education. I think that's the crisis we're in right now with the education.
Yeah.
Parents are just going crazy.
People are, there's a whole idea of early adoption, like where are we going? And that's why I like Asani talking about the futurists. What are they saying? Because we need to figure out a process that's actually going to work. And I saw this article written by a woman who is she is an Egyptologist, and her husband is an archaeologist. So they do big things. And they have kids at home and they're trying to juggle it all. And it is a complete and total mess. And the girl's kindergarten schedule looked like something out of Yale or Harvard. And then they looked at the education closely and they said one of the classes that their kids had to be in order to get credit was actually figuring out the colors of the rainbow. That's preschool work. That's not anything that's going to develop a child. Meanwhile, you're stressing your child out. They're having to sit in front of a computer for 12 hours a day, and they've just had enough. And they're like, we protest. They said, we are suspending this school until they get the pandemic under control. Well, her post went viral. And it was so funny reading the comments. It went 4.4 million people commented, yes, you're right. Screw this. We're done. We're going to do our own kind of education. They need to figure out a plan that is going to work because people need to they need to go to work. They need to have peace of mind. And then they were talking about the mental health crisis on the heels of this whole COVID-19 thing, that people are already isolated. Adults, parents, family. You're also isolating your children from their friends, from their school, from their academics and their athletics. All of that is happening at the same time. And we're trying to force some kid on a regimented schedule to figure out the color of the rainbow, right? And so on the heels of that, I open up the email and I see 130 emails from all these teachers. And I'm like, Like people keep saying, "Where you been, Danielle? We don't see you posting on Facebook." You know where I've been? In 130 emails from my kids' 4 teachers. So it's just insane, and we've got to figure out something. We've got to find out. We've got
Stay healthy.
you too. Bye.
Thank you.
Goodbye. And we've got to
We're
find
live.
out a way to put some pressure on somebody to figure out something that's going to work, because this is not working. And one last thing, I'll get off the rant because we got comments. I even noticed that one of the classes had given my kid 100 on something they had not even done. And I said, they have so many kids in these classes. Like, these classes are so cram packed that they don't even know who they're grading. And, Sydney might raise her hand in class and they never even see her hand because there's so many kids. And I hear that they're getting frustrated because they're not being called on. So the education piece is very frustrating. Let's go to a question or a comment. Cassandra had a really good one. Cassandra says, it's been rough, 18 months past infidelity. So by them being home, they have been exposed to our mess. Financially, we are struggling due to layoffs from COVID-19. Yes, I have a teacher that texts all day. Who has time for this? How is this realistic? How is this realistic? How do you sustain all of this? How do you sustain work? How do you sustain, all the other obligations that you have if you're obligated to church and other things that you're responsible for? How do you sustain keeping on top of all the work that your kids have to do, helping them with because now, remember when it was the kids came home with work and you just had to help them figure out what the teacher taught? Now you actually have to teach it.
Yep.
Make sure they get it in, make sure they get it submitted. It's insane.
So as bad as it is, when you add on top of that a bad relationship,
Oof.
that you put on full display in front of your children, that just makes it even more complex. And so think about it. You have people all over the country who have different living situations. Yeah, some may have the ability to live in some huge house with quarters and sections, but some people, their living room is their kitchen, is their office, is their everything. The bedrooms right next to the master suite, and so you're hearing through walls.
And what if you're both working virtually on computer, on conference calls and things like that? And I actually know somebody that's their story, that they are literally trying to find their corner in the house to get things done. It's insane. Let's just look at this here. There's another comment from.
So we just want to acknowledge you for a second. We want you to acknowledge that you can get through this, and we're going to give you some ideas of how you can protect your children from your marriage so that they don't see that.
Good. Miss H says, I have not seen my husband in several months since the prison has closed visits. Who thinks about that?
Yeah. I thought they were letting people out because of COVID, but I guess
they were early talking about that. I wonder if that was anybody's story at all. Did anybody actually get out of jail because of that, or did they just keep them locked up?
So we're praying for all of you guys in the situations you're going through, because this is real stuff.
It is real.
And who knows how long this is going to last. And so that's why you have to learn I learned a survival skill. You have to be highly adaptable in the situation that you're in. And I think a lot of people struggle with acceptance. They struggle to accept that this is the reality, and they stick their head in the sand and they become emotional and they don't know what to do. They don't know what to turn. But at the end of the day, if it's going to be, it's up to me. I've got to figure out how to make this thing work until such and such changes in our world. So remember, there's the world outside your home, but then there's the world inside your home, and you got to do your best to maintain it. Let's go to the next comment. Before the pandemic, I started working outside the home, and hubby worked from home. Not much change with him taking care of the home, even when I was taking care of 2 people with COVID.
Okay.
Hashtag stressful.
Yes,
we
indeed.
definitely understand what that means. Yes. How do I put the pressure on hubby to do more in the home now since he's working from home?
That's a good thing. You know what? I mean, different personality styles, right? But one thing I found myself was in a fog for a little bit. Like, I really was just like, this new norm thing, I'm like waiting for it to pass and what's going to happen. There was a lot of, uncertainty. And I actually just had to get a grip on myself and say, okay, if this is the new norm, then let's get back to normal. Let's make something happen. And I remember that's when I started that garden outside, because I needed to zone in on something and be productive in developing something. And that really helped me get on track. So some of us are really dealing with, not the level of emotional, mental issues that we need medicine, but the stress level is ridiculous. Depression is really taking off. So it could be some of that taking place. it's one of the reasons why I started doing vision boards again, because I needed our whole family to start dreaming past, like looking past today and seeing a bright future. And so
Pause 1 second. Do you see how important that is? The ability to see beyond today. Stop waiting for the television to give you one. Create your own vision so that there's a plan. And the fact that you did that, and the fact that the kids got in it because they were stressed, I mean, everybody's being affected. So, great idea and great tip to share for those who are looking to get beyond the day to day stress and they don't know what life is going
Yeah.
to bring. What are you going to create?
Yeah,
with
I
your
mean,
life?
usually we wait till the top of the year to do our vision boards, right? But when there's so much uncertainty, your vision is canceled. And so I went ahead and I bought these vision boards and I had our kids start to vision and look at your future. What is it that you want to do? Let's see how we can make all that happen. That to me would be a great start for somebody who's stuck and just has been dragging their feet about getting basic stuff done. Let's just start to have some new vision.
All right. Got a bunch of comments. LaShawn says, good morning. Love your energy. I'm new here. Well, welcome to the Couples
Welcome,
Academy show.
LaShawn.
The energy is, I don't know.
Don't
Give me-
share my, don't
I,
tell.
I'm,
Don't
just
tell.
saying.
Oh, I was
It's really-
drinking it
yeah,
anyway.
there it is. That's where the energy is coming from. But thanks for Stephen. COVID happened right after my infidelity was exposed. So I not only have stress from the infidelity, but also from being an essential worker at the hospital.
I bet.
Yeah,
Just
man.
all the extra precautions that you have to take, it must be insane.
So not only are you stressed at work, you're stressed at home, and the stress that you have at home, you bring to your work, and it
Yeah.
keeps you from being fully focused. I mean, think about it. What's happening in your private life
Yeah.
impacts your ability to function, whether you're in school, whether you're on a job, whatever the case may be. So it requires an opportunity to de-stress regularly.
Mhm.
You have to have an outlet. Danielle had a garden. I would just play pool, just,
You were
bring-
playing a lot of
yeah,
pool.
I'm a G on the pool table. Don't come for me because you're going to lose
That
all
could be
your
our new
money.
side hustle.
It could be because we need
If things
income
go south.
in this pandemic. Let's go to the next comment. Natalie Ja, Flute Williams message. Hacker Bacon one
No,
on
let's-
Twitter.
I think
oh,
this is
okay, yeah.
spam.
See, that's spam.
That's
so
spam.
you're going to be blocked. But thank you so much for joining us. Another one.
That's another one.
Okay, so I
Yeah,
think
guys,
people.
don't click that Dolly
Yeah,
smile
yeah,
link.
yeah. All right, I think with this one, Dolly Smile, stop, please. Okay, got you. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what happens. We have fans all over the world. But I hope that this is helping, guys. I hope just doing this check-in lets you know what other people are going through because we're not in this alone. And sometimes you feel like you're on an island going through this all by yourself, and you are not.
Mhm.
And we just want to let you know that, yes, we are a show, but we're a community, and we are here to support each other. I love the fact that you all weigh in on each other's comments.
Yeah.
Because that's what this is all about. We're in this together. It takes a community to keep a marriage intact. Listen, we're excited because as I told you yesterday, for those who weren't on, we have a new series coming up. It's called Overcoming Infidelity Complexities. No matter what our topic is, a lot of you have a tendency to ask us about your situation because you're in an affair or just got out of an affair or struggling through how to restore. And as you know, at Couples Academy, we are infidelity recovery specialists, and 95% of what we do deals with that type of recovery process. And so listen, in addition to giving us a call and in addition to scheduling a discovery call and going to the website, we want you to tune into the show because we're going to give you some excellent information that's going to transform your life. That's coming up. We're excited about it. That's probably going to start sometime next week. But we also have a few quick announcements, and we will be right back. All right, guys, that's it. Listen, I hope you enjoyed today's show. We can't wait till next week to start this new series. We're almost through. What's today? Wednesday?
Mhm.
Tomorrow is going to be a phenomenal day. I don't know why, but I believe that something powerful is going to happen on tomorrow. We want you to tune in. Hope that this is helpful. As you know, Friday is the opportunity to ask your questions, and we want you to ask them because we want to give you what you need. Listen, one more thing, one more announcement. If you don't remember, this Friday and Saturday is the virtual marriage conference. It's the Unbroken Marriage Conference. Now, we had the opportunity of talking to Wes and Nisha Stringfellow, and we shared a part of that interview on yesterday. Listen, you need to do whatever you can do to be available. It is not too late to register. If you go to the description, you will see the link right there. Sign you and your spouse up. It is something that will be incredible, that you do not want to miss, that you do not want to forget. We spend listen, how many weekends have you spent doing nothing? And then 2 days later, hey, how was your weekend? And you have to think, what did I do this weekend? Because all you did was the same old, same old. Do something different. If you want something different for your life and for your marriage, you got to do something different. And doing something different is signing up for this particular marriage retreat. We've been looking forward to it since the beginning of the year, and it is right here on our heels. It is upon us. So register and let's all join this special event together. Guys, love you, and we will see you tomorrow. Take care.
Can't bring us down, can't nothing bring us down. Our love is too high, bring us down, can't nothing bring us down. Bring us down, can't nothing bring us down. Our love is too high, bring us down, can't nothing bring us down.